It's just not person. Is your watermelon yellow?
It's alive.
Welcome back to another episode of Yap Overflow. We have very exciting guests here today. Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Sandra,
I'm Sarah.
and we're the most recent co-presidents from WiCS.
I was like, is that all you're gonna say? Oh, and I'm Prajna. I'm the podcast coordinator for WiCS this year. Sandra and Sarah have been with WiCS for how many years?
4.
Wait, did you guys join at the same time?
Yeah.
We did join at the same time.
Like in your first year?
In my second year.
In my third year. Don't do the math on that.
We're also going to be painting. We wanted to talk a little bit about how WiCS has grown over the past 4 years. We want to talk a little bit about how it was, like how you applied, what the club looked like.
For me, I was actually the president of another club at the time I applied to WiCS. I discovered WiCS completely by accident. I studied in the CS program, so not exactly straight CS. And I just saw COGS one day repost WiCS's story that they were hiring, and I was like, you know what, I'll shoot my shot. I really wanted to meet more friends in computer science because I felt like, you know, COGS is such a tiny cohort, and I just really wanted to meet more people, especially because it was COVID times. So back then, 4 years ago, applying to WiCS was literally a Google form. I think I answered 1 or 2 questions. I chose my top 2 roles, and then I didn't hear back for a little bit, and then one day I got an email and they were just like, you're in, come meet us at this meeting time and place.
I just finished my first year, and my first year was like all online. So there were no like WiCS events really. There was like, I think I joined one virtual event, and I don't even know if it was a WiCS specific, but it was just like between some of the clubs. They were talking about the different clubs. So I think that was the first time I heard of WiCS itself. And then I saw the application, so I was like, should I apply? So I just applied, but I was like, okay, I don't really know anything. I haven't done any of this club stuff before. Haven't even really been to a single event. So I applied as our like secretary, which doesn't even exist anymore. I don't know. I feel like because that role was pretty chill, I kind of just like floated around to other stuff too. But yeah, I filled out that form, and then it just like kind of just happened.
No interview is crazy though.
Yeah, like I remember like they sent out the form. I don't even remember where. Maybe on like Facebook or something.
Yeah, on Facebook.
Oh my God,
of the responses for their members to vote, or not even members, but then so everyone like voted on your responses, but they didn't know who was who. And then it just kind of happened like that.
What were your like progressions throughout WiCS then, from where you started?
So I was community service or community events director, I guess. For my first I guess year and a half, I want to say, maybe 2 years. I can't remember. But after that, I went into the role of VP External, and that was the first year that we kind of split into internal and external portfolios. Oh, there's a thumbs down. They did not like the split of internal and external.
No.
So I was community director 2
years, yes.
But the second year I was like the senior one, and then I had like a baby as my partner.
I had a baby.
And then I did VP External with Sarah as VP Internal, and then we both moved into co-pres the year after.
So what have you painted?
I painted a heart that looks like a potato.
Can you guess which one's?
Thumbs down.
I painted a flower in progress. Yeah.
Yours
also
is actually
purple.
really pretty.
Thank you.
I painted.
That petal's a little brown because the first swoop was like all the colors at once. It was kind of crazy.
I painted a sun.
Oh.
And what kind of events would you have like at the time? Like, do you remember the first event you organized?
We had like one singular event, I think.
What, like throughout the entire year?
Okay, it was
The first
one
year,
in-person year.
For context, how many events do we have per year now? Like
in our
we had
president year, we had
20+.
22. That's excluding UCode and some other things. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. One event a year.
We had one in-person event that year. I think we had a couple online ones, but like it was.
Was it still COVID?
End. It was like half.
COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
Sandra, tell them your biggest accomplishment that year.
My biggest accomplishment that year. Well, okay, my very first event that I kind of attended / helped organize was a tote bag social painting nights. That was really cute, really fun. I still use my tote bag to this day.
Wait, I think I came to that event. Was it in Granville? No.
No, that was years later.
Oh, I remember when I first joined, like I knew that WiCS existed, and the only thing that I remember seeing was a tote bag painting social.
Yes, that was our one event. When the year kind of started officially, my first event that I organized and kind of made up was Face Your Fears, the technical interview. Highly recommend joining that one. I'm very proud that it's still an event to this day. But the idea for that stemmed from me being terrified of interviews. So I was like, you know what, it's Halloween, let's do something scary. So we invited a bunch of mentors, some were sponsors, some were just people we knew in industry, and they joined online. So this was a very successful online event, and we still kept it online just because we get more mentors that way. But since then, it's really branched out. Like the first year, it was really only technical interviews. People were practicing like leak code and those types of things. But now we branched out into like UX interviews, product interviews, just a bunch of different types of roles in tech. So yeah, very fun.
What was your first event, Sarah?
First couple years, I wasn't like an events director, events lead. So I kind of helped out with events, especially when I was like VP. I was kind of everywhere. So I was kind of helping out with events. And then the following year when I was VP internal, that was when I was like very excited to actually like be more involved with events. Yeah, I remember doing like Face Your Fears. That was the year we like introduced like what you just said, all the other roles and stuff. So that was really fun to build off of that. And I think that was the first year we did a big like kickoff event. So that was like my first kind of like big event that I was helping lead, I think.
Oh my god. Yeah, that was so fun. We did it like in person at the CS building. We got profs to come. I remember we made them do an icebreaker on the field outside. Like picture like Patrice and all the profs doing this icebreaker with us. It was so cute.
How many people were like part of the team when you first started?
On paper, 15.
On paper, 15, but I think in reality it was half of that, kind of. Not for any reason, but just because it was COVID, so we were like navigating how it should work. Sandra and Michelle are kind of like our club advisor. She's been supporting it since the start, which is really cool.
Oh.
Shout out Michelle Ng. Swear to God, it's like an informal requirement that you're like super creative in WiCS, and I do not fit this standard, but everyone's like crocheting things, like little flowers, making jewelry, making pottery, painting, and I'm out here like with no talent.
You dance though. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Very interesting fact though, when I joined WiCS and I saw like the WiCS calendar, there would be like WiCS events and like WiCS meetings and then Sandra's dance. And I just remember seeing that. And I was like, oh, I guess her dance is like part of WiCS.
No, okay, listen. I had a ridiculous amount of rehearsals for a recreational team. And every time someone from WiCS asked to meet or like asked to plan an event or have a meeting, I'd be like, no, I can't, I have dance. And it just became such a prominent thing where I was always saying it that like they were like, just make a calendar. And then I did. So Sandra's dance has been on the WiCS calendar for like 3 years probably.
Is it still there?
Oh,
actually, I haven't
so
checked in a while. I'll check and update you.
So whenever someone wanted to message me, they would first turn on that calendar and see if I'm at dance, and then they would message me after. But you know what? It was useful.
So
what kind of dance?
I do traditional Serbian folk dance. You should Google it.
Oh, wait, that's so cool. I painted a leaf just because I started off with something green, so I just went off with it.
I painted these little branches. The first
They're so cute.
I painted another flower to be friends with Sandra's flower, and I gave her this little pink too.
That's so cute.
Wait, those are so cute. What do you guys think was like the best thing that you accomplished in your like presidency, or like the thing that you're most proud of?
To me, a big one that I've seen especially the last couple years has been like team culture. I think a lot of people have been very excited or interested in joining WiCS, and like I think especially after seeing the culture of our team and then also of the community at events, which has been really nice to see, because that was obviously like a huge part of our mission, and what interested me too kind of was getting to like know other people, and being in an environment like that, or wanting to be in an environment like that, especially coming from a first year of like being online. Also, I think seeing the kind of also on top of the culture piece, but I think seeing everyone's ideas in the team come to life, that's something I really tried. I think especially that this past year we've really tried is to figure out how to just like take the ideas the team has and then figure out what needs to be done to kind of bring them to life. So I think like we saw Hannah have the whole conference, which was a whole new idea for her, a lot of new event ideas, and like a lot of ideas with our mentorship program growing as well, and also like Miriam with the coffee chats, getting to know the community that way, and a bunch of stuff, just seeing them be so excited to like, and not afraid to bring their ideas to the team, and then actually bring them to life, I think is another thing for me.
And then I think for me also one really nice thing that I'm proud of is I think back to when Sarah and I joined, and I feel like back then, it was still quite intimidating and difficult to meet women in our program, which is I think a big reason why a lot of us did join WiCS and try to find it. But now when I talk to first years and younger students 4 years later, they seem so excited about CS. They've heard about WiCS beforehand. They don't seem scared at all. They're just like ready to tackle on whatever this degree will bring. And that's been a really nice shift to see in 4 years, because I feel like in such a short amount of time, we've seen that culture shift at UBC where women actually feel confident going into CS. Even our first year reps were saying they were just so excited to go into it. And it's just such a completely different perspective than what a lot of people had back when we were first starting out. So I'm just proud of that. Like, it shows that we did kind of make an impact on someone, no matter how big or small. And yeah, it's just a really rewarding feeling, and I hope it keeps growing past our time too.
You're in my cloud.
Sorry, I keep trying to draw a brown teddy bear, and everyone I try is red.
Yeah, it's just a little red.
I don't know if there's a brown. This is brown.
No, it's not.
It's red teddy bear.
Red teddy bear?
Wait, I think brown is on this side.
That's orange. That's okay.
No, but where do you guys would hope that WiCS goes in the next couple of years? What do you see, or where would you want to see it?
I think one thing we're really good at is just listening to what the new generation wants and what they're fighting for. And I think that that's what keeps our event super interesting. We're not afraid to kind of break boundaries, try new things, I don't know, just incorporate different aspects of what being a woman in tech really means and is. For instance, I don't know, at UCode we'd have yoga workshops, which was led by Prajna this year.
Yeah.
We taught self-defense. We just tackled many different ways of showing what women empowerment really is. And I think that when we're thinking of our events, we should just continue to do that. Keep changing it depending on what the new demographic needs. Never assume what a community might need. Go to them directly and ask. I think that's something we've been very good at doing and should continue. And as we get bigger and bigger, I think, just keeping our heart and thinking of our origin story, where we started, what our values are, and continue.
I painted a lot of things. I painted cherries, a jellyfish, a seashell, and a bunch of bubbles. Yeah. I don't know why.
And that's Sandra's teddy bear. And I just threw some clouds in the sky.
My teddy bear is there.
Sandra painted a teddy bear.
A red one.
Wait, but a red teddy bear is cute.
Yeah.
It would be really cool if WiCS has a mascot. What do you think
it.
Our mascot could be?
Well, the mentorship program has a mascot now. We have dolphins as our mascot, which is super cute.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we've had human mascots. I feel like we have a number one ally every year.
Oh. I was what does that mean?
No. But I do think we should have an animal mascot.
I feel like it would have solved a lot of problems because we'd know what to paint.
True. Should we invent the mascot right now? Should the red teddy bear?
The red teddy bear is officially our WiCS
mascot.
No, let's not.
Wait,
this can't be it. She's really set on it being brown.
Drop your mascot in the comments.
Wait, you guys should talk a little bit about what you're doing now. They just graduated, in May.
Yeah, a month ago.
Yeah.
I have been working as a product manager, and I really like it. Super fun. I feel very in my element.
I didn't think that was the end of the session.
No, what have you been doing this summer?
Oh, in the summer? Oh my god.
In general.
Career update. Went to Asia for the first time. It was so amazing.
Where in Asia?
I went to Vietnam the most. I was there for 3 weeks. I went with my partner. He's Vietnamese. And that was really fun. I learned how to order coffee on my own. Don't ask me to do it, but I'm super proud of myself. Vietnamese is really hard, you guys. But we also went to Thailand and Singapore for a little bit in between. But yeah, the bulk was Vietnam. I would definitely go back. Definitely some of the nicest people I've encountered while traveling. It was just such a positive experience. And I found out I'm not scared of motorcycles. That was really fun. But yeah, that was really fun. Then I came back, spent time with family, had grad. Now I'm working and I'm boring again.
What about you, Sarah? What have you been up to?
I was also traveling in May, same time as Sandra, actually.
Where'd you go?
I was around a little bit in Europe, so started off in Amsterdam, and then we kind of took the trains, trekked our way down south, but we went to Zurich, Switzerland, went to Frankfurt very briefly, and then Italy, a few cities there, so Venice, Florence, Rome, and then Naples. So that was my adventures, and now I'm back in school.
Oh my god.
Do you want to tell them what you're studying?
I'm studying business management. I don't know if anyone at UBC knows like the B+MM program, but yes, so I've been studying like computer science and business. So now just doing the business side of stuff, which is like very different, I feel like, style of classes, just because like the environment of the masters, but also obviously the course content is very different. So it's been kind of fun, but very different from undergrad.
Is your watermelon yellow?
It was a lime. And then it became a croissant. Now I'm trying to look like a lime again, but I guess it's horrible.
It looks like a yellow watermelon.
WiCS would not hire me today. I have no artistic
Okay, maybe
talent.
I should put a watermelon now.
No, I was
Okay,
gonna
you're
paint a
gonna water my
watermelon, but then I was like,
It's not a watermelon, it's a lime.
Yeah.
I was like, Sandra's got it, so I'll just not paint a watermelon.
I'll paint a lime like a full one now, and then you'll know what it
This
is.
is not a watermelon color. I can't tell what these colors are until like they hit the.
My cherry's not even like, I don't know what color that is. It's like orange.
This is like orange. I thought it was
That's a really good apple.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was actually trying to get a piece of strawberry, then I
Oh.
turned it into apple.
So now that like you've hired people from like for WiCS or whatever, what advice would you give?
We have hundreds of
We have
applications
like
now,
over
which is
100 left,
shocking.
which is crazy.
Because yeah, when we started, we were basically like begging people to join, and now it's just become such a big thing, which is awesome. But I do want to say, even if you're not an exec, there's so many ways to get involved. Like you can volunteer at like our high school campus tour, at UCode, mentorship program. There's so many ways to get involved. So just keep coming to our events. I think that's the first thing I would recommend, because if you're already familiar with WiCS, I think that helps a lot. I think coming in strong with fresh ideas, showing how much you care about our mission, and just being your authentic self. I think passion is still the heart of what we look for.
Karen, who's one of our incoming co-presidents, her and I have kind of been on the similar side of stuff on the internal side. So we've done a lot of the interviews together, us interviewing some of the new applicants, and we always joke about how like we're like, why are they so much better than we were? And we're like, I'm glad we made it in when we did, because we wouldn't have made the cut anymore. Yeah, there's just a lot of interest, and I think, like Sandra said, it's always great when you come to the events, because we always want to hear the ideas you have, no matter the role. And when you've kind of seen and know a little bit of what we've been doing, what's going on, I think really adds to the ideas and the context that you bring. So we love when people are super excited about ideas or like want to build off the stuff we've done. We won't take it personally if you like think you can do it better. We're super excited to hear that kind of stuff.
Yeah, give us feedback.
Your watermelon's so cute, by the way.
Thank you. I think one thing I've always said, especially from like right from the start with WiCS, is I've always enjoyed how diverse our team has been. Like we all have a shared interest in computer science and technology. But so many of us come from different majors or have a different interest within that. Oh, thumbs down again.
I wonder how many times there's been reactions, and I
we haven't noticed.
Thumbs down count.
Because the team is so diverse, like bringing in your own ideas, bringing in your own spin on some of the same things we've been interested in, or bringing your own interest to the group, because there definitely are other people at UBC who will have a shared interest, and being able to cater to that those students is always super exciting to see kind of the different perspectives and what you want to do with that and how you want to bring that into the team and bring your unique skills into the team. So it's always really fun when we have people who come from super different backgrounds or different journeys than ourselves.
I think.
Okay,
Oh,
there you
okay. I know. Like Sarah, you were very involved in like Girl Smart for Tech.
Yes.
Yeah, so you should talk a little bit more about that and like UCode.
Yeah, Girl Smarts for Tech. Well, I guess like what it is first is it's one of the outreach programs under the computer science department, and it was started by one of our profs actually in the faculty and one of her PhD students at the time, I think, which is super cool. But they do a bunch of like outreach for like middle school, high school, and sometimes elementary school students to get more interest in computer science, especially at that age, starting them young, you know. But yeah, I joined, and I was a coordinator for the program for a couple years, and I think similarly to WiCS, I felt also like joined a little bit of it at an interesting time, because they were kind of just coming out of COVID, so the past couple of years they hadn't been able to do any in-person programming, which is really hard when you're working with like middle school age people, I feel like, because it's really hard to figure out what you can do like virtually or just like having online resources for that specific age group. So it's really interesting. We had a lot of ownership, me and the other co-coordinator at the time, to kind of figure out what we wanted to do. But I've always like really loved like working with kids or teaching, and like creating lessons and stuff like that. So for me, that was a really cool opportunity to bring together like my interest in CS and technology with my interest in outreach, and also teaching all at once. So it felt like the perfect kind of little job at the time. So I had a lot of fun with that, and kind of also found ways to bring it into WiCS sometimes. And yeah, we were able to like build a super great group of volunteers and kind of build our own little community to make our own workshops and stuff like that, but then also obviously use that and bring the passion of the group for outreach and for kind of teaching and learning into some of the different communities and bring students, like younger students, onto campus, which is always like super fun. So I don't know, that's been really fun to see too, and see like what they've been doing the past couple of years too, after I've been a little bit less involved. And yeah.
No, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, and then UCode for me, it's just like what we were talking about earlier. It really started as a passion project. We were kind of speaking with faculty and with other students and talking about that problem and that challenge of women being a bit more intimidated to apply for CS in first year, just because it's also just getting so much more competitive every single year. So at its core, we just wanted to create an environment where it was really safe to try coding even if you've never done it before. So I think UCode's pretty unique in that sense. First of all, it's a hackathon focused on both computer science and data science. It's hosted by WiCS, but also WIDS, Women in Data Science. You should definitely check them out too. They're awesome. And we have a beginner stream and an experience stream. So experience stream is more similar to your general hackathon experience. It's those who know how to code a little bit already, who've taken a couple courses and who are ready to make a project. But our beginner stream is very, very close to my heart. I love them. It's anyone in any year and any faculty who are trying out coding for the very first time. And we offer a lot of mentorship and support for them. And it's been really inspiring to see everything they can build in 24 hours after having never touched a piece of code before, like after never having like heard of a hackathon. And then another factor that's really important is we've always been showcasing kind of how multifaceted you can be in tech, because there is kind of a misconception sometimes that computer science is a little bit lonely. You're maybe just like staring at your screen all day, which is true sometimes, but I mean, at least in our experience, I think. But we want to show that like it's just, you can be so much more than just somebody like contributing to like a small feature at some company. So our first year we were sponsored by Aritzia, which was really cool because you don't often think of fashion or retail companies when you think of going into computer science. We want to show that like you can check out non-traditional industries because tech really is everywhere. Our second year, our main sponsor was Arc'teryx, and they also came back for our third year. That was also really awesome. When they became the main sponsor, we added another layer to UCode. We were like, let's focus on wellness, both physical and mental. So yeah, we had yoga workshops, we had midnight dance, or no, we had dance workshop, midnight yoga, I mixed it up. And we were just trying to get people out of their seats, which is also pretty new for a hackathon. Like we were like, okay, take a break, get off your screen, let's go exercise, let's go have fun. So yeah, that was cool. And then this year, I was in a really cool position because, you know, I am the founder of UCode and I have been co-leading it since the start. But this year I kind of stepped into more of an advisory position and watched 4 new leads take it on, and just kind of offered my support along the way. So that's Georgia, Nicole, Sabrina, and Tracy. Shout out to you guys. You guys killed it. They came up with the theme this year of community and connection, which really struck a chord with me because it's great that we empower women in tech, but I think a lot of what we do and what we try to show is to empower women everywhere because, you know, you should be able to follow your dreams. A lot of industries, not just the tech industry, are very heavily male dominated. So we wanted to just kind of offer our support to the broader community. So we invited like UBC Food Sprouts. We had a case with SAP that was focused on food stash. So we dealt with food insecurity in Vancouver in our local community. We had like a can drive, a period product drive for the Community Women's Initiative. We invited Low Entropy. We had a clothing swap at UCode. So we were just showcasing different community initiatives to help underrepresented groups beyond tech. I can't wait to see what the next theme is next year, but I think that's what makes UCode unique. Like every year we add a different layer of what it means to be a woman supporting other women, and just underrepresented genders everywhere. I'm gonna leave a space for the mascot.
Okay.
Okay, you go first.
I don't know what I added
We've added
Wait.
so many things since the last.
Oh, I think I was on this side. Oh yeah, I added like hearts and like grapes. Yeah, that's it, honestly.
Hearts and grapes?
Yeah.
Well, there's my lime, and then I put some red dots around it for some reason. I drew an orange that looks more like a lemon. There was something else. I drew some hearts for sure. I put some hearts around Prajna's jellyfish.
The apple, the watermelon, and then some random like the star.
The
some
star is so
leaves,
cute.
Some random petals put in it.
Thanks for painting with me, guys.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thanks for coming to campus to record.
For inviting us.
Sandra missed like 3 buses.
No, they didn't come. They missed me.
Join WiCS, come to all our events, and thank you. Bye bye.